Hello everyone, and I hope you're all doing very well. Now, I was just in the middle of making this mission in DCS World. It's going to be a reenactment of the 1988 operation between the USN and the Iranian Navy. And I thought this would be a really good example to show what is DCS. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time and just haven't got round to it. DCS World is a flight combat simulator in that it is a flight simulator. It has accurately modelled aircraft that we can fly in and use the systems of, but as well as that, it's a full combat simulator because, for instance, what I've done here is I've replicated the US Navy. We've got a aircraft carrier here, as well as a Ticonderoga class cruiser here. And for instance, it's probably going to be an Arleigh Burke there, destroyer, and so on. Naval units throughout the ages, and as well as that, ground units. For instance, we've got a Silkworm battery here, and we can have tanks and jeeps and guns and SAMs and just about everything you can imagine in yesterday's and today's battlefield. And these are not just static objects. The sensors and the intelligence is modelled. So the Silkworm radar, for instance, will be modelled in terms of what it can and can't see, how many targets it can it see over the horizon, and so on. The ships that we were looking at, the various sensors are modelled, the various weapons, the missiles, harpoons, guns, sea whiz, and so on, all modelled. So we can create an entire battlefield, and we've done a very simple one here. And in terms of realism, it's as realistic as you want to make it. I've done a non-realistic engagement here. This is a Hollywoodized version of Praying Mantis, where we've got a kind of bunched up fleet, which you'd never have in real life, versus another bunched up fleet. Or if you want, you can go in full milsim. You can research exactly how these fleets would have been set out, exactly how these Silkworms would have been set out, and so on. Like I said, it's based around the aircraft. So if, for instance, if I just went into this mission here, we could see that I'll put myself in an F-14 Tomcat, and you can see what it looks like. We're now in the pilot seat of our Tomcat in the mission that I've just saved, and everything from the real cockpit of the Tomcat is fully modelled, and all these buttons I can press, they work, and they do exactly the same function as what they do on the real Tomcat. And this is why this is such a cool simulator. I can do this almost button for button for how the real Tomcat pilot would have had to do it. In terms of weapons, we can arm this plane up with any weapons that we want. They're realistic. Phoenixes, Sparrows, Sidewinders, different types of gun bullets. Combinations are pretty much endless. I can swap to the rear seat. I can now play as the Rio radar interception officer of this aircraft, and I would actually have to use this radar exactly the same as Goose did in the Top Gun movie. Button for button, everything does exactly the same as it did in the real Tomcat, and it's incredibly complex if you want it to be. You can see that we have aircraft carriers for naval operations, where these guys go and simulate the exact aircraft operation of a real crew in terms of takeoff and landing. I can take off now and take part in the huge naval battle that I've just set up. There's single player or multiplayer, so I can play with my buddies if I want. See, in this case, the fleets have started engaging each other. This guy here is firing harpoons, the Ticonderoga, and these guys over the other side, the Iranians, are going to start defending themselves, and a full fleet action will ensue. The periods of conflict covered are the early 40s up to contemporary times. The realism in weapon systems and procedures is second to none, though, as I showed earlier, you can just have fun if you want. You don't have to take it full military simulation if you don't want to. Planes of various eras are available to buy and fly. DCS has a renowned, very harsh learning curve, but it doesn't have to be that way, as we'll go and look now, as well as the official manuals that come with the aircraft. Myself and other providers provide various media to help you, so we're on my Grim Reaper's main YouTube page here, entertainment, campaign missions, one-off missions, tutorials of the various aircraft that you can buy. Noting as well that there are aircraft that are free. If you just want to get in DCS, you can download it for free. I'll provide the link. You can fly an Su-25T, you can fly a variant of the P-51, you can fly an A-4E Skyhawk, you can fly an MB-339 and other various free aircraft that are coming. or you can go the whole hog and buy a full fidelity aircraft, which will require a lot of learning, or you can go in the middle and you can buy a cheap starter plane like an F-15. It's like a dumbed down version to help you get into DCS, and as well as tutorial videos for all these aircraft, with miscellaneous tutorial videos showing how to do air-to-air combat, air-to-ground combat, also how to use game features like the mission editor, combined arms, and so on. We're in the module section of the official DCS website now. We'll have a quick flick through and see the various modules that you can buy. One complaint rendered against DCS is it's expensive to get into, or should I say, it can be. How much you spend on DCS is really up to you. If you want, you can be like me and you can go and buy every single collector's plane and you can probably spend $1,000 or more. Or you can wait for a sale, buy just one multi-purpose aircraft for half price and use that multi-purpose aircraft for doing just about everything that's possible in DCS World. Or you can even just use the free aircraft. You can join almost any multiplayer server and most groups just with the free aircraft that are supplied with the download. To me, it's a modern rendition of collecting airfix models. 20 years ago, I used to collect airfix models and hang them on my ceiling. And it was a great thing to do, and I'm sure you can still get those models. But nowadays, you can not only get the model, you can fly in it in actual combat. And that's the main thing of why I love DCS so much, because I can fly my airfix models. So let's blast through the modules available. May 2020, we've got an enhanced supercarrier, got a JF-17, Chinese Pakistan contemporary fighter, an F-16C Viper, needs no introduction, Focke-Wulf 190A8, I-16 Type 24, a MiG-19 Papa, and not only combat aircraft, we have stunt race aircraft as well, a Christian Eagle 2, a MiG-29, an F-14B as you saw earlier, training Yak-52, FA-18C multi-role fighter bomber, AV-8B, navigation systems, GPS, World War II asset packs that add various elements of World War II, AGS-37 Viggen, Spitfire low-flying Mark 9, F-5E Tiger II export version, SA-342 Gazelle, Mirage 2000C, an L-39 Albatross trainer and light attack, C-101 Aviojet trainer and light attack, a MiG-15 Biz, a MiG-21 Biz, BF-109 Kurfürst, F-86F Sabre, an FW-190D9 Dora, Mi-8 Magnificent 8, UH-1H Huey, A-10C Warthog, Flaming Cliffs 3. This is a pack that includes 6 what we call low fidelity aircraft, a starter aircraft that I was talking about, something I recommend to all new guys that come into DCS to start off with to plateau the steep learning curve. Combined arms to control various ground vehicles, tanks, IFVs, APCs and so on. A P-51D Mustang, a Ka-50 BS2, and the list goes on. Additionally, large terrains are available to purchase. These are up to kind of 600 miles or maybe 800 miles. Persian Gulf map, Normandy 1944, Nevada, Eastern Training Range map. This is as well as the free maps that come. We've got the Dynamic Caucasus for free, and we're going to have a Marianas that's coming up shortly for free, and more that are in the pipeline. As well as that, specific single player campaigns are available to purchase. Too many to go through, but as you can see, that one for an F-86F, Kurfürst campaign, Huey campaign, and so on. As well as that, some aircraft come with free campaigns. Regards system requirements, it's a very hard thing to answer. It depends how you want your game set up and what performance you want. But we've got here minimum and recommended official setups. Note, of course, being a modern sim, it is VR compatible. If you don't go for VR, then eventually you want to get some kind of head tracker, and these can vary in price from anywhere between $40 and about $200. However, you can play it without a head tracker. Also, as your main controller, if you're going to do this long term, you'll want to get yourself a HOTAS setup, that's a joystick and a throttle quadrant. However, this is not needed to get into DCS. You can use the keyboard. I personally recommend against it. Or a cheap way that a lot of people start with, including some Grim Reapers, is console controllers. For instance, the Xbox console controller you can use. As well as that, we have a growing community of multiplayer groups. Grim Reapers is just one example. We have 7,000 people strong and over 50 active pilots. And these flight communities are fantastic places to join. So if you want to give DCS World a go, you want to join the community, go and download it for free. Come to the GR YouTube or our website, grimreapers.net. Make use of our 3,000 videos showing you just about everything that you can do in DCS World. Have fun learning the sensors, the systems, the flying etiquette of various aircraft, and above all, have fun, which is what it's all about in the end. And to finish, in the words of one of our good members and friends, Ivan, DCS is a dream of us being able to sit behind the controls of a fighter and take life and death decisions in the heat of an aerial battle, taking care of each other and roar into the skies. Be bold and daring. Feel the gut feeling guiding you, being sad of a friend's plane on flames going down, and ultimately for a few hours escape reality and be a real pilot up there, something for whichever reason did not happen in our real life. It pushes out the best there is in you. Sometimes you fly and fight gallantly and feel relief when an enemy plane is down, but the pilot chute is open safely. Sometimes you swear and curse and struggle, just like the real pilots do, and end up on the losing end, hanging under the chute yourself, but only to rise up better and stronger and fly up there again. Age is irrelevant, and borders and language barriers are melted in the cocktail of friendship and having a great time with your mates. If DCS is a dream, it is one I do not want to wake up from, and a chance to be a beautiful human in a sexy machine.